Once again, I want to welcome everyone to our April 7th, 2017 fiscal court meeting. Jenny, I think the first thing that we have on the agenda is a public hearing, so I'm going to open that public hearing. You want to read the first item on that agenda?
Item 1, consideration for discussion, A, closeout documents for the 2015-16 Community Development Block Grant Funds for ORR in the amount of $250,000.
I think we have Dustin Duncan here, right? Do you want to come up and tell us what we're doing and what we're asking the public to comment on?
Of course, yeah. First of all, since this is a public meeting, I do have a sign-in sheet. Pass that around. Here at the grad office, the purpose of this meeting is to notify the public that we're closing out the 2015-2016 round of funding for the Owensboro Regional Recovery Project. What this project did was take $250,000 of federal funds and pay the salaries for the staff at Owensboro Regional Recovery. They've been in existence for about 7 years, and they serve 100 at-risk men who are suffering some sort of substance abuse. The facility itself was originally constructed using home funds, affordable housing trust funds, low-income tax credits, and monies from the Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati. The Kentucky Department of Corrections and Section 8 vouchers are utilized to house the men and pay utilities. Basically, if there are no comments on this, we can close this out and send that report up on Monday, and then you would be cleared to apply again.
Okay. Do we have any comment on that closeout? By the way, we have Sarah Atkins here with Owensboro Regional Recovery. Thank you for being here, Sarah. Are there any comments on that? Okay. Next item, Jenny.
B, submission of a 2016-17 CDBG grant for Owensboro Regional Recovery for $220,000.
Okay.
Alrighty, yeah, the purpose of this public hearing is to provide information to the public concerning the proposed Owensboro Regional Recovery Community Development Block Grant Project and to obtain views on housing and community development needs in Daviess County. This hearing also serves to inform low and moderate income persons that technical assistance is always available through the Green River Area Development District in developing grant proposals for the CDBG program. They want us to let you guys know that CDBG projects are divided into community facilities projects, which are your fire stations and community centers, your economic development projects, housing projects, public facilities, aka water and sewer, and public services, which this Recovery Kentucky project would fall under. Owensboro Regional Recovery is one of 11 Recovery Kentucky centers within the Commonwealth, and the overall goal of Recovery Kentucky is to provide assistance for those recovering from alcohol and substance abuse who may or may not also face homelessness. Sarah Atkins is here. She's the director, and I'm going to read a couple statistics off, and she might be able to back me up if you guys have questions. According to a study performed on the University of Kentucky back in February 2015, illegal drug use by clients decreased by 68% from intake to follow-up. They surveyed them at the beginning and the end of their treatment. There was a 46% decrease in alcohol use, 28% decrease in homelessness, and a 65% decrease in incarceration rates. On the Recovery Kentucky program, taxpayers saved $3.56 based on getting people off the streets and out of those recovery programs. Been recommended by the Department for Local Government to make an application for $220,000. That's $30,000 less than normal. That's kind of the grant ceiling they set this year, so that's what we're bound to. Funds, again, will be utilized to pay staff salaries and administrative costs. There will be no county match required, just all federal money. Block grant funds are obtained through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and therefore the Uniform Displacement Act does apply. However, no residents would be displaced due to this project because it's merely paying salaries. If you have any questions about the Uniform Displacement Act, you can contact the Green River Area Development District, the Daviess County Fiscal Court, or the Department for Local Government. They want us to mention that Daviess County currently does have a sewer project open to rehab the lines in Masonville, I believe. But the thresholds associated with that don't preclude you guys from applying for this one. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, me and Sarah are both here.
Just one, and it was my understanding that you couldn't have an open CDBG grant and apply for another one until 80% of those funds were expended. Is that correct?
It depends. Like I said, they were divided into those
so
community facilities. Yeah, it's a special
by
survey.
category?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This one, the thresholds are very relaxed, so
Okay.
if you have one open, you can definitely
Okay.
apply.
Anyone from the public have comment that they would like to make or a question that they would ask? Commissioners, any question or comment? Sarah, would you mind coming up for just a second? It's my understanding that we have 100 beds there.
Yes, sir, we do. We have 100 beds, and today we had 95 of them occupied.
Okay, 95. Half of those folks from this area?
Roughly, yes. Most of our clients come from this region.
Right.
That would be Daviess, Henderson, Union, Ohio, Hopkins, and Muhlenberg counties. So the western Kentucky area, the vast majority of where our clients come from. And I just wanted to mention a couple things that are new that we've done this year. We got a grant to have a computer lab put in our building, so we now have a computer lab for our clients to use to do job searches and to work on educational opportunities. We've had, in the last 6 months, we've had 3 gentlemen complete their GED, and we've had several actually now who have gone on to college. One who is getting ready to finish his master's degree will graduate in May with the master's degree, and then one that will finish a bachelor's degree in August. So,
When that happens, would you mind letting the court know who they
Sure.
are and
Absolutely.
and what they've done?
yes, absolutely I will. And Dustin's already mentioned the statistics from the 2015 outcome study, and so the 2016 outcome study is in place right now, and our statistics are very much the same. So, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here and serve Davis County.
Can you tell us when you're going to have your next come back home?
Yes, our
whatever?
Alumni Day
Yeah.
will be Saturday, September the 10th.
Okay.
Saturday,
So we've
September
got
the
folks, you have plenty of time. Let me encourage you to attend that.
Yes,
That's
that is
always-
a public event.
Yeah.
We invite, of course, all of our alumni to come back and visit, and then they can bring children,
Right.
and it's a very fun day. And I know you've attended before, and we appreciate that very much. We would love to have everyone that day.
Well, it just, it's obvious what ORR has meant to those folks and to their families when you see them back together after they've been through that program. And
Yes.
it's very worthwhile, and thank you for what you do. Yes,
Thank you.
Commissioner?
I just have one question.
Uh-huh.
What's the normal time frame that an individual is there in the home from start to finish till he
From
graduates?
start to finish, it's no less than 6 months. Most of them, to finish the program, will stay a bit longer. We've had someone say the longest has been almost 20 months. But average, it would be around nine months to finish everything.
Commend you for the job y'all do there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other question or comment? Public, I'm going to give you one more chance. Okay, then we will declare this public hearing closed.
Agenda item 1 of this agenda is consideration for presentation, A, Proclamations, April 2016, and I will give it to the judge.
You're going to give, this proclamation, are you sure
All
you
of
don't
them.
want to read it?
Oh, I would be glad to.
This is, the first one is going to be for fair housing in Davis County. Whereas the strength of our nation and all of its states flows from the promise of individual equality and freedom of choice, and whereas the anniversary of the enactment of Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, the federal fair housing law, during the month of April is an occasion for all Americans individually and collectively to rededicate themselves to the principle of freedom of choice and to participate in efforts to eliminate all housing discrimination. Whereas Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 guarantees each citizen that critical element of freedom of choice and the selection of a home, and whereas fair housing is the policy of Davis County, Kentucky, and the implementation of that policy requires positive commitment, involvement, and support of each of our citizens, whereas barriers diminishing rights and options to any citizen will ultimately diminish the rights and options of all. Now therefore, I, Davis County Judge Executive Al Mattingly, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2016 as Fair Housing Month in Davis County, Kentucky, and urge all citizens to join me in reaffirming the obligation and commitment to fair housing opportunities for all. Do I have anyone here to accept this?
I will accept that, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
Davis County Emergency Medical Services Month.
Whereas we rely on emergency medical services, or EMS, and take comfort in knowing that well-trained caring people are only a phone call away, and whereas when unexpected accidents and illness strike, EMS personnel are the first on the scene, and their timely actions often make the difference between life and death, and whereas emergency medical technicians, paramedics, and first responders serve on the front lines of our healthcare system, but others also play a big role in their success, including emergency dispatchers, physicians, nurses, and other colleagues. And whereas Davis County EMS system is made up of staffed and volunteer personnel who together represent the best of our community spirit, devoting their time and talents to help their fellow citizens. Now therefore, I, Davis County Judge Executive Al Mattingly, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2016 as Davis County Emergency Medical Services Month, and urge all citizens to recognize and thank these brave, selfless, and courageous men and women who make up our local EMS system. Anyone here? I'm going to have to do a better job of notifying these folks.
Will they notify me, Judge?
Oh, so you would think they would come and pick it up?
Yes. National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Okay, is Rayanne Renicki and Susan Silver here? Rayanne? Oh. Whereas annually, April is recognized throughout the United States as well as in the Commonwealth of Kentucky as Child Abuse Prevention Month. And whereas preventing child abuse and neglect is a community problem that depends on involvement among people throughout the community. And whereas child maltreatment occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope. Whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure each family has the support they need to raise their children in a healthy environment. And whereas child abuse is considered to be one of our nation's most serious public health problems, with scientific studies documenting the link between the abuse and neglect of children in a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders. And whereas all citizens should become involved in supporting families and raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. Prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among state and local government agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Davis County Judge Executive Al Mattingly, do hereby 16 as Child Kentucky, and urge all citizens to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening our community. And Ms. Renicki, did I pronounce that right? Oh, Rainicki? Rainicki, okay. If you would come forward.
Thank you so much. Just want to talk briefly tonight about our pinwheels. A lot of times personally, I tend to talk about the negative. This year we're trying to increase a message about the positive. And I did notice there were a few pinwheels out here already, so we put a few more, my husband and I. The actual pinwheel is something that our parent company, Prevent Child Abuse America, started for us, and then each of our state chapters, including Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky, has adopted. And they chose the pinwheel as opposed to the awareness ribbon because it specifically takes you back to a childhood memory. It takes you back to when you were a child, carefree, happy. And when you see the pinwheel as opposed to an awareness ribbon as an adult, you don't think of the abuse, you think of the prevention and the happiness. And that's specifically why we do the pinwheel planting and we have our pinwheel lapel pins as opposed to the awareness ribbons. We still have awareness ribbons and we still do wear those, but during the month of April we are pro pinwheels for that 30-day period. So when you walk outside and you see the blue and silver pinwheels, take a moment and think about the many children, the hundreds of children in Daviess County each year that there is a substantiated report of abuse or neglect or domestic violence that touches them, and think about what each of us can do to prevent something. Maybe it's just a kind word to an overstressed parent. Maybe it's a child in your neighborhood that just needs someone to know that they care. Those little things are the start of prevention, and sometimes that pinwheel is just all we need to remember that we actually can help. But I knew that we hadn't talked about the pinwheels before at our fiscal court meetings, and I wanted to take the night to do that. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Wathen. You serve on the CASA board, which also has to do with what's going on this month.
Yes, and I wanted to mention that, following along on this same line, on April 30th, the CASA organization is going to have a conference for child abuse prevention and the theme is to try to see what we can do to put different organizations together so we can help each other. And that's an all-day Saturday, and Ashley Judd is going to be our guest speaker. So we're hoping that'll bring a lot of folks out. But the main thrust of it is what can we do as organizations to help each other? That's the theme. So
Exactly. And the easy thing that we can do and we can share easily is preventchildabusekentucky.org. That's where myself and my 4 core workers, we use that site every day. It's invaluable. It's something that we can each use. We can access it on our phone or our tablet. So if you're in the grocery store or at your kids' soccer games and you see something that you feel that you need to intercede and help, and you don't really know how, pull that up on your phone or your tablet and you'll get tips at your fingertips. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, Commissioner Wathen, don't you have a special guest out here that you'd like to introduce?
yes, I do. My son, John Wathen's here.
John,
I'm not
stand
sure
up.
exactly why John's here. I'm sure he wants to see what kind of things that he can learn today from this organization. But welcome, John.
Okay, are you ready to go, Jenny?
Yes, item 2, yes, A, minutes of the March 24th, 2016 court meeting.
Motion approved.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, you had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, you've had a copy of all the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession for some time. Do you have any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
C, apply for the 16-17 CDBG for ORR and authorize the judge executive to execute any and all documents relating to said application, including the approval and execution of resolution 16.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, this is a resolution. You just heard the description by Dustin earlier. Any question or comment? Dustin, do you have anything you have to do other than answer questions? Okay, any question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Folks, you don't feel like you have to stay if you want to get up and go now. Next item.
D, mutual aid assistance agreement for the purpose of fire rescue services and related special operations with the cities of Henderson and Owensboro.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, as I looked up, I thought maybe I'd see Andy Ball out here to talk about it. I do not. In your package, you have a copy of a resolution between Daviess County Fiscal Court, between the city of Owensboro and the city of Henderson regarding mutual aid during a disaster. Any question or comment about that? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
E, Yelvington-Knottsville Road guardrail repair.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mark, are you prepared to talk about this?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Is
We
that
ha-
why this got to us late and didn't get in our book? Did you just provide it?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, just smacking you around a little bit. Go ahead.
We have some damaged guardrail on Yelmington-Knoxville Road. Typically, in the past, we will utilize the Highway Department's contract in regards to repair of the guardrail, so we can get it done proficiently and effectively. That's what you have in front of you is the contract extension that for the contractor that we typically use, which is Eden Fence.
Do you know what the cost of that guardrail repair will
Yeah, we
be?
got an estimate based on the contract price of just under $5,000.
And that's under the state's contract?
That is correct.
Okay. Question or comment by the commission? Do we know who damaged it? So this is going to be on the taxpayer?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner.
I was just gonna ask why, I don't ever remember us having something like this on there before.
We've had several of them.
Okay.
As
This-
Mark
but this is
said, when
when-
we know,
when we don't
when
know
we
who
know,
this is.
when we know who did the damage, then we will,
They'll pay for it.
yeah, they,
Okay.
well, we'll try to,
All right.
yeah. That's, yeah.
That they will pay a portion of that. That doesn't always work, but
I'm sorry that I interrupted you. Did you have another?
No, I did not. Thank you.
Any other question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
F, advertise for bid number 6, 2016, which is a microfilm of a portion of Daviess County Fiscal Court order books and corresponding court documents.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, this is just permission to advertise. I'm going to ask Jenny Warren, the court clerk, to talk to us a little bit about what this is going to do.
We have tried numerous times to get a grant through the state in order to microfilm some of our order books, and they have corresponding
What is an order book?
minutes.
Okay.
Basically, the court records of all the contracts, resolutions, memorandums. And we have a number of file folders that are taking up a lot of room, and we're hoping to get those microfilmed along with those order books so we can alleviate some of the storage tightness that we're experiencing.
Okay. Again, Commissioners, this is, yes, I'm sorry.
I had a question. I know that the Oz and county clerk and their group is doing something similar to this. Will this all fit together so that,
No.
okay? Should we,
The funds for these grants are dollars obtained through clerks' offices throughout the state of Kentucky. So many times we are competing against clerks' offices for that microfilm dollars.
I
for
think,
those.
if I understood you, Commissioner, what he's asking is, will these two systems be compatible? And I would say, if it's microfilm, yes, it should be.
Sure.
I would even suspect that the people who are doing it for the clerk will probably bid on this. Would that be a good assumption, Jordan? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you will be handling this. Will you check with Oz, see who it was, and then make sure that they're on the bidders list?
Certainly.
Okay. Anything else?
The microfilm is anticipated to last about 900 years, so it'll be here for a while. Longer.
So
Or have proof of
that it did.
That it did.
Okay. Any other question, Commissioners? Question or comment by the public? Yes, sir. And this better not be about that's a long time for plastic to last and the environment's
No,
going to
it's
hate
not.
us.
No, no, it's not. I can't even come up with an argument for that. I just want to encourage. I do think in the 21st century we do have a lot of documentation that's not online, and I know that's an expensive process. But I would just encourage the commission to put an outline or synopsis of. I assume that these are contracts, that these are official litigations for the court, and I just encourage the court or any government to try to automate that online as much as possible. If you're not going to put it online, at least put an outline or generally where somebody can sit behind a computer terminal and look for this information. I really do think that more of it should be automated, like titles and plots of land, who owns what in the community. It really should be.
I'm pretty sure
allowed,
that, can't you get to that right now online? Yeah.
I
For
don't
the
think you can get
PBA's
all of
office,
those.
you can't get everything. A copy of a contract, you probably cannot.
Yeah.
I would tell you that our minutes are online. Now, I don't
Well,
know how
thank you.
far back our
Well,
meeting, you can
I stand
actually
corrected then. Maybe you're already doing that. I
can
just,
go online and see a video of this. We went to live streaming this.
and it works very well. If I
Yeah.
could interject, I
Good.
watch it sometimes, and
Okay.
especially the cities. I know I watch the cities quite a bit, so I'm amazed at how well it does
So you
work.
come over to the county to tell us how good the city is.
Well, I haven't watched that much of yours online. If it's anything like the city, I'm really impressed with the cities.
It's pretty cool.
It's state of the art, really. I mean, you click on it, it works.
Right.
You scan backwards, and I actually, I like to write a little bit in the reader's rights a little bit. So I really like to be able to use that to quote somebody directly. So thank
One
you.
of the reasons that we started doing that, James Lacey, is out in the county, folks don't get public TV. So they can actually go online.
Right, and I don't get
watch.
cable, so I really
That's
appreciate
great.
it that I can watch it when I want to,
Sure.
asynchronous or whatever. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks for that comment. Anybody else? Come on, John, get up here. None? All right, if there's no other comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
G, declare surplus inventory and include said items in the 2016 county auction listing.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Jordan, you knew I was going to call on you to talk to us a little bit about this.
Yes, Judge. The list in front of you is comprised of all items that each county department has listed as surplus inventory. We plan to dispose of these items in the county auction that is scheduled for Wednesday, April 27th at 10 a.m. In addition to this list, there is another list that the Daviess County Extension District has requested for us to sell in our auction. I recommend approval.
I think any governmental agency that wished to participate, we would allow to bring items and participate in the auction.
That is correct. We invited all local affiliate agencies.
Okay. And just to clarify and make sure everybody understands, we are going to conduct the auction ourselves.
That is true.
This is going to be done during normal business hours of the court by a couple of court employees.
That is
that
correct.
Okay. Question or comment? Question or comment by the public? And all the money does go back into the general fund.
That is correct.
Okay. There being no other question or comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
H, hire Samuel E. Hodgkins Sr. as a public works mechanic effective April 11th, 2016.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Sam, were you out there? Disguised as a deputy? I don't see him out there. I would just make a comment, Mark, that I'm happy to add another mechanic to our
Absolutely.
list. They are getting hard to find. So if there is no other question or comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
3, consideration for appointment E. Emily Holloway to the Green River Cemetery Advisory Committee, term 4/1916 to 4/1919.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, Ms. Holloway has served faithfully on the advisory committee. Typically, we do not appoint someone to a board for more than 2 terms unless there are extenuating circumstances, and I think in this case, she adds a lot to that board. So I'm recommending that Ms. Holloway be reappointed. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
4, ordinances. A, 4/2016, second reading of KOC 921.670 2016, an ordinance amending text in Article 21 of the zoning ordinance regarding the downtown overlay district and adding Article 22 regarding overlay districts.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Claude, do you have any comment?
No, Judge, I think talked about this the last time. This is just to allow for the downtown to have specific requirements to meet some of the changes they've made, since they do not have the person designated, and they're designating the new person for the, or designating the planning commission for the applications.
In effect, the planning commission takes over that person that the city had originally
Right.
appointed. So it's, and we're adopting it in our zoning ordinance simply because we try to keep the differences between city and county as to a minimum, so people don't get confused. It really won't affect anyone outside the
not
corporate
affect-
limits of
right.
the city of Owensboro. Any question or comment, commissioners? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Davis County Fiscal Court. I'm not aware of any.
Me either.
B, public comments.
This is the time during our meeting in which we ask the public to come forward, identify themselves at the podium, and you are welcome to speak on anything other than what was on the agenda.
Threw me last time, Judge. I forgot to introduce myself or state my name and address. James Lacey Campbell, 1119 Pembroke, Apartment 4, Owensboro, Kentucky, 42301. God bless America as always. I just wanted, I kind of messed up. I was going to speak 2 months ago. It was really raining out, and I don't even know if the court really, this is in their jurisdiction, but it was raining out, and it was a terrible day, and I'll try to interwork these, but we've got the ORR, which I think is a great program, really reduces crime in this community too, I think, tremendously. And St. Benedict's, I'd like to speak out for them too. I think it really helps reduce crime in this community. It usually stays packed. But what I wanted to speak about, I meant to speak on that rainy day, that I saw a lot of those residents walking around in the rain. And one of their biggest problems, if you really want to employ these people, and there are quite a few of these guys that would like to do something, you know, they really would, but they have transportation issues. And I would like to, you know, the community to try. They get some free bus passes to ride the bus here, and it helps them out greatly, but they're very limited. They go quickly. And then these guys really walk a long distance, and it's really hard to do anything to kind of get out and get an application. So I just wanted to say that, just mention St. Benedict's, that I think it's a wonderful program. It's good for everybody. It's just a total win, win, win. And to encourage the commission, if they can do something to help with transportation issues, with people getting to work. And the bus does run too, but at night, of course, it doesn't run. On Sundays, it doesn't run and stuff like that. So I was remiss that day was raining, and I watched these guys walk around. Some of them do. This person in particular, I walked around, had mental issues, but I really did want to say something that day. So sorry I did. Thank you.
Thanks for that comment. You're right. The public transportation system is a city function, and I know that they do. At least they did when I was on the city commission. They had an allocation of tokens. I will try to remember to talk to the city manager next time I see him and see if they couldn't increase it, because a lot of our buses, that transportation system runs empty. So it would not, there wouldn't be a cost associated with that, and it would do some good. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. John, are you sure you don't want to get up there and talk? Okay. Okay, tell us about your dad. You got anything that you want to say about your dad? Okay.
Not in public.
That's why I started saying, boy, I wouldn't want to give Will that opportunity. Okay, Jenny, next item.
Comments by Davis Fiscal Court.
The only comment that I have is regards the executive order 03-2016 that I signed regarding a wet-dry election to be held in Whitesville on June 21st of this year. A petition was brought to the county clerk. The county clerk certified that there were enough registered voters in that city to have signed the petition. I think it required 35, and they had 34.75 rounded up. That's 35. I would say that there were more signatures than that, but they were not certified as being eligible voters. Therefore, according to the Kentucky Revised Statutes, by executive order, I call for the election. There was, David, I'm going to ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just remember, I think you had a call from a citizen wondering how many package stores and how many buy drinks, and we actually in the county have an allotment for that type of thing, and an allotment for liquor by the drink as
That's
well.
correct. We have, the county has given quota licenses for both package stores and bars.
Mhm.
And so that allotment is regardless of how many precincts or cities or whatever.
Done
So
by population?
it's done by population, one for every 2,300 people. So
Okay.
I think we have 43 or so of each one. And we have, I think in one of them we have 16 left, and another one we have 8. So there is no limit as to how many they can have, just like there's no limit to Owensboro. It's just there's an upper limit for the entire county.
Okay. And that does not pertain to those folks that sell malt beverages, the way I understand it?
That's correct. There also are non-quota licenses, such as the license for, believe it or not, a restaurant that has over 100 seats, and also convenience stores have non-quota beer licenses.
The only thing that limits that is the market.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So you
Go ahead.
said so many licenses in Davis County, is it whether they're in the city or outside of the
That's
city?
correct.
Okay.
Right. All of Davis County, I think, has 43 quota package stores, which is a liquor store. And I think there's, I'm not sure, one of them we've got 27, and another one we've got 30-some. So.
Okay. That's the only thing that I wanted to comment on, other than it was nice going out to eat this week and not having to wait in long lines, and it was nice to drive anywhere and everywhere I wanted and not have to worry about the traffic. Although, thank goodness for Commissioner Wathen, I tried to run a red light, didn't I?
Yes, but I protected us.
He did. He scared the dickens out of me, and I threw everything in the truck on the floor. Commissioner Caslen, it's nice to see you out of that cave where you've been preparing hundreds of tax returns.
Yes, sir. It's good to have a momentary break.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say this evening.
Okay. Commissioner Wathen?
I have a question related to that wet-dry election. Is there a reason we don't do that in the primary election or in the general election?
State law
Law says
says,
that
yeah.
when a petition is filed, there has to be an election within 90 days.
And it also cannot be held by law. It cannot be held on a regular election day.
election.
Regular
Really?
election. So
All right.
therefore, we get to spend $3,500 additional.
Something.
Yep.
That's all I had. Is that question?
Anything else? Commissioner Koger, did you have a good time with your family, and where did you go?
Well, I did. I was down at Kentucky Lake and spent 2 days down there. My wife fell down the steps at Patty's, so I spent 5 hours at the hospital with her. That she received 4 stitches above her left eyebrow and several bruises. So
Okay.
it did. And I'd like to mention that tomorrow night at Whitesville, starting at 5 o'clock, they'll have their pie and cake auction. The funds goes to Wendell Foster Center. And I believe that they'll be selling hot dogs and a drink. Usually they have the fish fries on Friday nights, but that's over with. So they're expecting a big crowd, and hopefully they'll raise a lot of money.
They get bigger crowds during the election season.
Yes, they
don't
do.
they? So they probably wish we'd have an election every month or every April. Commissioner, there's also going to be a dedication of a stretch of highway in memory of Sergeant Cable. Starts at 10 a.m. at the Philpott Fire Station. So I would encourage anyone in the public to come out and attend that. It's a pretty sweet ceremony. So anything else that we need to talk about? Earth.
Did you say what day that is?
Saturday. This Saturday. That would be the 9th at 10 o'clock. Earth Month. I can't believe, James Lacey, that you didn't get up and tell us about Earth Month. No, there are going to be all sorts of celebrations all through the month of April. We're going to have some tree plantings, and if I had my phone, I would kind of give you the schedule. Tree huggers, yeah, it's a tree planting for huggers to hug. So, anyway, it's if you have the opportunity, there will be things scheduled in the newspaper because. While all of us may have different beliefs, we only have one Mother Earth, and we need to be out there taking care of her. Don't do that, James Lacey. I'll start saying other things. If there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court, without exception, we're adjourned.